Hi Virgo, welcome to your October 2017 overview reading. So, because I love October and Halloween, I decided to do a themed spread this month. And this is called Vampire's Kiss. It is all about coping with shadow, and it's a really uplifting way to look at the resources that you have around you. The information that's been coming through has been really deep, really clear, and I've just really enjoyed doing this spread for everybody, so I hope you enjoy it. I also have a partnership manifestation class coming up at the end of September and beginning of October. I will give more details about that at the end of the video if you're interested. It's going to be really, really great. So anyway, let's go ahead and get started. The Doreen Virtue card is Layla. Spend time alone in nature, meditating about your desires and intentions. Ask the angels to help you gain a positive perspective. So really taking some time out, becoming introspective and setting intentions is going to be really great for you this month. And anything you need help with, ask for help. Ask your friends, ask the angels, ask God, whatever it is that you put your belief in, just ask. Okay, and we also have happiness. If happiness is what you want, then happy you shall be. Okay, so make sure that you are figuring out, what does that look like for you? What does that even mean? What does it mean for you to be happy? What would it take? And just making sure that you are really defining that for yourself. Anyway, let's go ahead and get into the reading. So first we have, what should I turn myself over to? The possibility and idea that resources are infinite and you have the abundance already. So making sure that you are practicing gratitude, you are, showing yourself and your body a lot of respect, and that you are just really, really nourishing yourself. So it's kind of like, give yourself over to a mindset of abundance. That's what's going to help you this month. He clearly wants attention. All right, keep it moving, dude. Okay, so what happens when you abandon rational thought? We have Page of Swords. So there's a certain level of like striking first and asking questions later. Really what this is about is, if you don't give things the necessary forethought, then you just kind of start to become impulsive, and you're like, I'm just gonna do a bunch of stuff. I'm just gonna take a bunch of action without really thinking about what the big picture is. And so it just looks like, by giving yourself the time to process and plan, as Virgos tend to have a really easy time with, it prevents you from stepping into this juvenile state. For a lot of signs, pages have come up in this position because it's like, oh, you are stepping into like a juvenile nature when you don't think about things ahead of time. This is Who Wants to Kiss You, and I have been looking at this like, who's showing you love in October? Two of Swords. So, I'm getting a hit that this is more like a soulmate connection, because you can't see them yet. You don't know who it is yet. For those of you who are already coupled, I'm going to get more information on this because I'm curious, like, who is Two of Coins? Okay, this is real funky. So this is one of two things. It's either you don't know who this person is, or someone who's like in the process of making a decision. So, it's the reason why I get soulmate is because we have a reference to the moon. So there is like this psychic nature there's a psychic connection between you and this person. And then with the Two of Coins, it's like they're also in, if you already know the person, it's like they're in the process of making a decision. So whether this be your partner or a family member or a friend or a coworker or whatever, someone who is kind of in their own process of deciding for themselves is showing you a lot of love this month. Now we get into like coping with shadow. So this is how you can cope with shadow, how you embrace your darkness that we all have within us. And it looks like just throwing some reins on it, and as you acknowledge and see it, it becomes easier to kind of get a handle on it. But it is about recognizing it first. What are your habits? These are things that Virgos have, you know, the ability to see within themselves. And so it's recognizing it. Recognize your patterns. And then as you acknowledge those patterns, you're better able to steer them in the right direction so that they work for you. So if that means like you get these impulses to eat really bad food or drink too much this one time or whatever, it's kind of like when you see it, you're able to more intentionally take actions to fill that need that you have without completely being destructive. And so it's all about how can you steer it in a positive direction so that you're not shoving shadow back into a closet, which I've said multiple times during these readings. You don't want to shove it into a closet. You want to acknowledge that it exists because it's a part of all of us. Okay. Now this is like, what are you letting go of? It's like what thrives in darkness. So we want to let go of this aspect. The Queen of Swords. So this is a story about I need to be independent. I am only able to rely on myself. I don't have support. There is absolutely some thought forms sitting here about independence that are not true. I mean, we're social creatures. So the Queen of Swords in this position is kind of like, I want to defy evolution, or I want to defy human nature, or there's something about I want to be so independent that I'm the only person that I'll ever need in my entire life. And that simply is not, unfortunately, the way that it works. So it is about connecting with other people as much as you can and letting go of this independent story that you've been telling yourself. What thrills you? Queen of Cups. Okay, so it looks like the thrill comes from showing up for other people emotionally. So it looks like you are really excited. Now this can be good or bad. It can go either way. You're either really excited to emotionally help people, but this can also kind of be codependent at times. So there's two sides of it. It's like, yeah, that's really great that you can be emotionally available to other people, but in the same breath, make sure that you are getting emotional support yourself as well. Okay, this is what increases immortality. So this is like health stuff. Death. So there's something that you need to let go of. There's something that you need to release, whether it be stress or there's some type of transformation that you need to go through in order for your health to be better. So what is that? I'm sure a lot of you already know, oh yeah, I do need to quit smoking, or, you know, maybe I shouldn't drink as frequently, or I do need to work on stress reduction. 3 of Wands. Okay, so it's kind of like as you leave things behind, you're making room for the things that do matter to you. And with death, it's all about letting letting the stuff that doesn't serve you go. And so with the Three of Wands, it's just a confirmation that you got to leave this stuff behind and kind of level up so that you're able to call in the things that are really, really vibrant and healthy. What lives forever? Okay, this came up for someone else or another sign, but it's like with the Nine of Swords, it's with every step that we take, there is going to be a certain level of frustration or a dilemma or something that kind of, I guess, gets in the way. Like, there's always going to be another problem. It's like if you're single, a lot of people view that as a problem. If you're coupled, there's problems that come up in partnership as well. There's always going to be some type of problem, but it's, again, about figuring out what type of problems you do want to have. That's really the only way you can look at it reasonably, because there's always problems that come up. It's like being in a job and working for someone else has problems. Being an entrepreneur has problems. There's always an issue. So it's just figuring out, like, that's always present. And now I'm seeing that you have quite a few sword cards coming up. So this is definitely about conceptualizing your next steps and your ideas for the future. And the action that you can take this month is the Hanged Man. So we bring it back to identifying what habits help you and what habits harm you, and then trimming the fat from there. You know, whatever doesn't serve you, get rid of it, leave it behind, and move forward. Okay, so now I'm going to do 3 mini spreads, so just go ahead and whatever cards call to you, go ahead and focus on whether you want to do one spread or you want to mix and match, whatever you want. This is your reading. And so I am pulling a card for your growth period, your environment, and then your romantic relationships or partnership will be with this card. Okay. So spread number 1. We have soul knowing. So this is tapping into your psychic self, understanding, you know, the information that you're receiving, and you're just in a really receptive state to, it's like there's a really big picture that's going on around you, and you're being given information on how to take action and move forward with your plans and your goals. And so it just looks like your soul is really calling to make that happen for yourself. Okay, in your environment, we have 4 of Wands. So there's something in your immediate home, your immediate environment that's really coming together and kind of just stepping into stability, grounding, connection, and it just looks like things are really coming together environmentally, which is why you have space to sink into your psychic self and receive the guidance that you need to move forward. And in your romantic relationships, we have 3 of Swords. There is a grief picture that is sitting in your space that needs to be released, whether you are coupled or not. I am not going to predict a breakup or impending separation. Sure, people break up every day, it's totally possible, but really what this is about is the grief that needs to be released. So just keep that in mind, that if you are looking for partnership, maybe it's time to let go of the pain and the heartache from a past relationship. And when I say let go, I mean come into a state of neutrality. That person can never come across your mind ever again. That's just not realistic. So just noticing the grief, feeling the heartbreak, feeling the pain that you're going through is really going to help you cultivate the relationships that you've always wanted. And spread number 2, we have third eye chakra, seeing your next step. See, this taps into all the swords that we have coming up. And as you step into a state where you are really using your third eye to see your next steps, things are going to become more and more clear. This is about building a vision for yourself, understanding what you want your life to look like in a year's time, in 3 years, in 5 years. It's really putting together the big picture plans and the short-term plans. Your environment is the Emperor, so there is a lot of grounding energy surrounding you. It's like you're just really in a strong position to make things happen and take action. And in your romantic relationships, we have Two of Cups. Beautiful. So this could be increased connection with your partner. It could be, you know, maybe your partner is the Emperor, and so you're really like, ooh, I want to plan our next steps. I want to see what our future has in store. And then if you're not coupled, then it's like, make sure that you're keeping an open mind to possibilities of being in partnership, and that is possible for you. And so Two of Cups is nice to see there. I know a lot of you know that Two of Cups is a relationship card. So just hold the vision, hold the belief, come from a state of abundance like we saw with the Nine of Coins, and trust that relationship and connection is on its way to you. And so spread number 3, comparison. Okay. One of my favorite quotes is, comparison is the thief of joy. And so you can't look at this from a state of like, well, they have this and why don't I have this? Because then what you are communicating on a manifestation level is lack. You are not coming from a state of abundance. You're coming from a state of lack, of jealousy, of they have something that I want and that I do not have. And so really the remedy to this is to come from a state of gratitude for all the things that you do have, for all the accomplishments that you have made. Your environment for the month is the Four of Cups. So perhaps you are shying away from opportunities that are being given to you and you don't even realize it. Think about how it's like, if how many times do you say no thank you? Really focus on, what are you saying no to? Are these things that could pay off in the future if you were to just say yes and give it a shot anyway, even if you don't know what direction it's going to push you? So it's kind of like you're saying no to certain offers that are being given. It's kind of like with this rat or whatever. It's kind of walking over the cups and not even looking at what's inside. So pay attention to what are you saying no to. And we have it sitting on top of the Hanged Man. So it's like, is saying no to opportunities something that you regularly do? And if so, how do you adjust that for yourself? Okay, and now in your romantic relationships, we have the Oracle. So with this, it looks like you just need to, focus on what you want. What do you want in the partnership that you're currently in? And what do you want in the partnership that you're trying to call in? And if you're like, make sure you listen to my manifestation workshop, because a lot of it is about this stuff. So, it's really about your belief. It is about your belief. It's about your vision. It's about what are you affirming in present time? What are you calling into your space? Okay, so that's all I have for the reading. Now, I want to thank every one of you for liking, sharing, subscribing, and commenting on this video. I absolutely have the best subscribers, and I love you guys so much. And so with the manifestation workshop that I have going, it is partnership specific. And so it's about releasing old belief systems, calling in new belief systems. It's 2 45-minute sessions on the 30th of September and the 1st of October. You're going to get a workbook, like a manifestation language, and there's like a whole bunch of stuff that you get as a part of it. And so I've included the link in the description below if you're interested in that, because I'm only accepting 20 people right now to join this workshop. I'm finally offering it to the public, so I'm super excited because I have been getting a ton of requests to do it. And so make sure that you are checking out the sales page if you're interested in that. And it's structured in a way where you release the stuff that doesn't serve you, and then you're building your manifestation during the second day. And it's very interactive. So make sure you check that out. If you're interested in working with me one-on-one, the link is in the description below to book your session. And if you're interested in getting a single question reading, of course, there is the submission form for that as well in the description box. So make sure you follow me on Facebook and Instagram, because I'm always on there posting cool stuff and doing extra readings. And I hope you have a wonderful October. I will see you next time.